Hi all, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have another union read for you today. It is February 28th, the last day of February 2019. I got a lot of codes coming in again about Pi and the sun, the central sun, and the third eye. They're all kind of piecing together for me, but the codes, it's not quite clear yet. So if I bring something up that you don't understand, don't worry about it. Just take it in, and then maybe if something else comes up at another time, then bring that up in the comments. All right. 28 is the Two of Wands, the Twin Flames. The day adds up to 42, which is a 6. It's actually the Two of Cups. So beautiful energies today between the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands, and it was all about twos. I kept saying twos, twos, twos everywhere, including the time. And then it was Trash Day today, which I was guided to write down. The last day of February. It's like the end of the cycle. The read was done at 9:04. 9 is the Hermit and 4 is the Emperor. It was actually, I was guided also to write down 4 to 5 because then 44 to 45 came in as well. So it's like that connection between 4 and 5, just like the expansion goes from 1010, 2 of the twins to the third energy, and then 4 of the union to 5, expanding. Okay, so it's bringing up that as the constant connection, the constant expansion, no matter what level it's coming from. But the read was done, and the wind kept gusting as I was putting the cards down today, and there was definitely some stress in the heart and the stomach, so it was stress and anxiety coming up, and I was definitely feeling it coming through from my masculine. There was definitely sexual energy coming through again last night, which I kind of told my masculine to stop, and I was a little bit forceful with him last night, and that's kind of the energy going into your masculine, and kind of that feeling of not taking any crap from anyone. So at 9:04 I did the read. The major arcana were the Chariot, guidance, which is normally the Hierophant, and also the Hanging Man, which is the Hangman, and I was getting Jesus when I got the Hanging Man today because Easter's coming up. And also the card after the read was the Tower. And just so you know, the Three of Swords in the Syrian Starseed deck has lightning in it as well, and the last card is the Three of Swords, and the card after the read is the Tower. So it was basically lightning strikes twice again, and also 3 strikes you're out I was getting as well, but it's in a good way. So as we get into the read, there were 3 swords, 1 cup, 3 pentacles, 1 wand. So there you have the 3131. It was just 252. 3131 is the 5 of Wands, that expansion, double expansion, right? It was just saying lightning strikes twice, so twice the expansion. So see it in a positive light. And it was just 303. So 252 is the High Priestess and the Queen of Swords, and Queen of Swords came up yesterday in my coding, really big time, and then, or it was the day before, and then 303 is, of course, the abundance and the Empress of growth. So the core cards that came up in the read were the King of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Very much can be energies of the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine, which they come up in that way a lot of the time. And it doesn't matter what sign you are, okay? Because in the Tarot, as you progress, you start at the Wands, and then you go to the Cups, and then to the Swords, and then to the Pentacles. Pentacles is manifestation. You've already incorporated the other 3 suits, and now you're completing, okay? So think of it in that way, not necessarily according to your sign. It could be also your personality traits, but you can fit it to your situation, but don't force it to fit. If it doesn't fit your situation, don't make it. There were 3 ones, so 111 was coming up, as well as 1 and 2, again, the masculine and the feminine, as well as 11, 4 to 5, like I said, and 44 to 45, and the space between the words. 1, 2, 3, 12, 10, and then again, like I said, the 3131. The coding was all about synchronicities, self-discipline, and spiritual partnership. So synchronicities is very much about your guidance, and guidance came up as one of the major arcana today. And self-discipline, right, which is the Hanging Man, seeing new perspectives, which allowed me to bring in, when I was looking at new perspectives at how I normally see things in the cards, some of the pictures that I normally read them as this or that, when I stopped myself when I stopped myself to see a new perspective of what I was looking at was when my father started coming in. So sometimes you need to stop and look at something that you've always deemed as one way and then see it from another perspective to allow something new to come in. So sometimes that's as simple as that, not even going away or doing anything new, but just seeing a new perspective. You know, that's how your mistakes become your blessings. Okay, and that was a big lesson from my father. You know, that's where a lot of the success comes from, is going through the mistakes. So you learn from them and you get, that's what I have to do, or that's what I need. So make sure you don't get down on yourself about making mistakes, because they can definitely be blessings in disguise. So synchronicity, self-discipline, and spiritual partnership. The coding was about the seeker of the new. And then piece of the pie was coming up. And then pi, 3.14, or the circle with the line through it, right? The diameter and the circumference of the circle. And surrendering to the one hanging for the new perspective. And then I was getting, which I'd gotten before in my coding, as the feminine I, the small I with a dot on the end, and then the divine masculine is the reaction, the exclamation point, the dot at the bottom with the exclamation point. You see how the reflections work? But this is coming up around pi, and piece of the pie, and of course the pie is a circle when you make pieces of pie. But it was all about seeing the new and a new perspective. And like I said, Jesus was definitely coming up around the hanging man. And to notice that Jesus wasn't hanging by his foot, though. He was hanging upright as the hanging man. And then I was getting the Olympic torch referencing the upside down. The right side up one was like the Olympic torch, but the upside down one is the hanged man as opposed to the hanging man. The hanged man upside down is the seeker of wisdom. When they're hanging by the foot, the blood goes to their crown. So it's like forcing their crown to open more, whereas the one upright has already found the new perspective and is upright, and that's coming up as Jesus on the cross. And also then coming up with the sun. All right, so if you take the circle and you put a line through it, and then you do 8 of them, you know, one down, one across, and then you fill in like a flower, it naturally fills in the center and becomes an eye, like the third eye. So then you have the pupil in the middle, because there's lots of lines crossing the center, it becomes dark right there. And then the rest becomes the iris. So there's all of these parallels between the eye and the sun and the third eye. And then I was getting the camera lens, actually with the Reiki energy, is wavy lines. So you might see wavy lines, which connect from the outer connections through the head, and I'm blanking out on the name. But the Reiki lines, the wavy lines, they connect from inside the head to the third eye, from your outer connections. So that comes up also as the shutter lens. So if you close your eyes and you actually see an eye, you're also going to see your iris, just like the lens of a camera that's got those curves around it, so that you know it can open and close. Your eye is the same. But this is coming up again around the crucifixion and the betrayal, the 30 pieces, and you notice that pi is in pieces, and then 3 days, and I was getting days, D-A-Z-E, and using the third eye, and the sun. Because remember, one of the messages I got from Jesus when I was in France was, when he was on the cross, look to the sun and to the butterflies, and why would you keep your eyes closed when there's all of this to see? So the sun's coming up is very important, as well as using your third eye and referencing to Jesus on the cross, and that the 3 days were a daze. He was in a daze. And then 9:14 was coming up, and it was paralleling to pi again, 3:14, because in the song in Jesus Christ Superstar, in the Garden of Gethsemane, he talks about seems like 3 days. It was 3 days seems like 30, and then the last verse was seems like 90. So there's a parallel between the 3 and the 9 there. So that was coming up, and then reflecting the pi again. If you reflect pi, Well, pi, if you reflect it, becomes, what was that? If it's upside down, if you reflect it this way, becomes hi.e, hi.e, which was kind of funny. And you notice I've been getting high C a lot for high Mar and high C. So there's, you know, play with these connections on your own. I'm definitely getting abundance in the Empress coming up, because 3 is the Empress and 14 is temperance, or alchemy, the alchemical process of abundance. And then the A and the E were coming up again for Adam and Eve, and atom and ion then were coming up. And then the sequence of the number 14 of 0, 14, 28, 42, and today adds up to 42, and it's 28 today, which I didn't even notice that before. 56, 70, 84, 98, plus there's only 2 to get to 100. So it's saying 14 basically goes into 98 7 times. And that 3.14 goes into 100 exactly 31.21 times, and 31 is the 5 of wands, expansion, and the 21 is completion. So pi into 100 is completion of just 1111. So there's something around this mathematically, and I actually wanted to touch base with my uncle, who's a mathematical genius, but he's also old, so I don't know how much he's going to help me, but if anyone would know something about what I'm getting, he might. So I might actually go up for a visit and see what comes up. And then something about the 100 being just really 9.9999 to infinity. And then if you write 3121, which is the result I got of 3.14 into 100, 31 plus 21 is 52. So here we are back again at the infinity, because the 52 in blocks becomes, if you merge them, they become the 8 again. And 8 again is the H, which is the 44. They're all the same. So Easter's coming up, and I was getting EA stir. EA stir, and then ST for saint, and then IR. Like IR for both of you, but it's supposed to reference to I am, your I am presence. 30 days and 90 days, and then again 3.14 for pi, but also 9.14 was coming up as the time. The read was done at 9:04, but then I went back to the read after I had to break to go to the bathroom, and I wrote down 914 as well, so that was coming up too. But I'll have to work on some of this stuff. And then again, half of 14 is 7, so a lot of things were ending up on 7. So 7 and 8 are so important here, and then 78 is the end of the tarot. And then 3.14 plus 3.14, I was getting 6.28. So here we have the 28 again of today with 6, which is love, and that from 7, 6.28, what's missing, the space between the words, is 0.72, and 72 is the 4 of Pentacles. 1, 2, 3, yep, the 4 of Pentacles, which is about holding on loosely. It also comes up as the Divine Masculine's heart, the Bat Cave in the Syrian Starseed deck, and also savings, your nest egg. Okay, so all that stuff is coming up today. So I'm not going to get into too much of the other number stuff, because it's, you know, it gets very complicated and it won't make any sense to you. But I was getting, the numbers were backing me back into 1111, the date 1111 from November as being important, as well as February 2nd, and you notice that 1111 is 22 reduced. It's the same. And that's backing up from March 23rd. So basically, you know, going into Aries. So getting into the read, the end of pain for those with an open, pure heart. Sneaky spirituality at work. Taking away bad thoughts while you sleep and work. And then I was getting whistle while you work, which is funny because my uncle that I was just talking about, because he's a genius and he can't, you know, they have a little bit of autism in them. When my brother was about 10 years old, it must have been Thanksgiving or something like that, my uncle was there, and he started whistling because it was just his habit at the time. He was whistling around the house, and my Uncle David can't handle that. And he kicked my brother in the nuts. My dad was so pissed, you know, because it's his son, like, God forbid he should, you know, ruin him for life, right? So it's just funny that that came up, whistle while you work, and my uncle David. But I was getting whistle while you work to get you moving passionately, which definitely references, like if you get kicked in the balls, you're definitely going to be moving passionately. But to seek love, to open to love fully. It's just 15-15. Allow the shadow side to come out, you know. David didn't mean to hurt him. He just, you know, he's not the usual person. Because his intellect is so large, there's always some kind of deficit in some other area of your personality. So, and he's very much different now. He's actually becoming much more normal or traditional as far as what you expect a person to be. But he's always lived true to himself, which was perfect. And now, as he's getting older, he's losing some of that intellect. So he's becoming softer in his personality, which is actually kind of lovely to see. Also, Last of the Mohicans came up there. And the 38 of the Queen of Cups was coming up as 19 plus 19 is 38. So 2 sons and the Queen of Cups. So there may be some divine feminines who will have 2 sons. Also, stress in the heart, like I said, and stress in the stomach was coming up for heart and anxiety. The sovereign with heavy burden, so it could be the feminine as well, openly. But the burden belongs to the family, to the 4D bridge, to the rainbow's end, the pot of gold from the emperor, to let go of the burden and enjoy what's been left to you, whether it's from your family, from the things you've learned in your life, whatever abundance has come to you, the home or the rich family that you're around, the really loving people that are in your life, or just whatever abundance has been left to you, the love that you've received from whether it's your parents or friends, whoever it is. Because in this underlying energy for this read, all of the end of the cycles are here. 10 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, and 10 of Swords, all here at this underlying energy. Only the new coming out with the Page of Cups from beneath, with the 9 of Pentacles. So enjoy your children. Go to, and then I was being guided, I used to, at Thanksgiving, every Thanksgiving, because I was vegetarian, I didn't eat meat, so I would cook a turkey in the morning to take out for the homeless, and I would make up little turkey and stuffing containers, you know, like from the Chinese restaurant, and I'd drive around town giving food out. And I was getting guidance today to go back down where there was a certain place where I'd get off the highway to get into the city when I would do that, where there'd always be someone waiting for food with a sign or something like that. And I was being guided to go back down there and give somebody a rainbow today. Enjoy the countryside with the kids. Sound of Music was coming up again. The land and the water. Give it love. Allow it to love you back. And Just Another Brick in the Wall was coming up. The DNA. That I brought up yesterday with how the 5 and the 2 fit together in block letters, and they each become TVs, and then they become the 2 lines of DNA alternating just like bricks in the wall. That he is the space between the words, where you can always find him. So this is not necessarily divine masculine, but it can be. It can be your dad or someone who's been in your life who's been very supportive of you. But I was getting a message again from my dad that he would always be between the mountains. And so it was another message from him, because they lived in Bend, Oregon before we had to bring him home, because my mom had Alzheimer's. And where they lived was at Sisters. The mountains were called Sisters. So he's showing me, I have his ashes, and both my mom and dad wanted their ashes to be spread out there where they used to live. So I was holding on to my dad's ashes because I wanted to put them out together. And of course my mother's still with us. But he's telling me where he wants his ashes spread. He was telling me between the mountains, that he'll always be between the mountains at Sisters. So, and he was literally telling me to take a helicopter ride and spread his ashes between the mountains. So it was really beautiful. I've never gotten anything about where to actually throw his ashes when I go out there. So he's telling me, between Sisters, what an adventure it will be from a helicopter. And then I was getting 6 coins. Love. Use the love I left you to do this. And the high vibration. He was happiest when he's telling me he was happiest when he was in a wheelchair. And this is a very successful doctor who loved his work, was telling me he was happiest when he was in his wheelchair with his family doting on him. even the dogs and even babies, which he didn't have that much patience for, walking and trying to ride on the dogs. Like, you know, he had a very impish personality, so something like that would have cracked him up. People socializing around him just for the company of love, happy with his own thoughts, but just being around other people in the house, which I definitely resonate with that, right? And he was saying to me, my beautiful daughter, who was always herself. And it took me back to when I was young, because my mom, I had a hard time with my mom because she was always yelling at me. And I remember saying to them, I just want to be me. And I couldn't be me because it wasn't okay. But, you know, my dad wasn't the easiest either. So true love was coming up here as the underlying energy, and then chemistry was just below that. And true love is, this is a romance of a lifetime. So again, I don't know how many times in a row this card can come up for you guys to get it through your heads that true love is here. Overindulging in sitting in a chair with your thoughts. Remember how much fun you had tubing down the river with your family. Just as an example, because my dad was bringing this up for me to forward that message to you guys as well. Don't spend all your time sitting and doing your mission work. Make sure you go out and enjoy your life as well. Enjoy nature. Remember how good you felt doing that, and how calm and peaceful, noticing the beauty around you as you float down the river. Speak to your truth and wave to those who reach out, but make sure to travel and float to calm the beast, to float your boat, so to speak, and get out of your head. Okay? So calm the beast. And then he was telling me, you are strong like your dad, okay? Then I was getting from the read, someone caught with their pants down, but as a good thing, in order to find peace, dropping burdens, confessing trip or tripping up, caught off guard by surprise. Can one reject this offer, this show of muscle to play? Like, how can you see an offer to go play as something bad? So it's saying, like, you know, be ready to pack light. So if you have an invite of somewhere to go, you know, get ready and go have fun. Natural food and dance, okay? But have patience and self-love. And patience card is number 2, and then self-love is 61, which is actually the 7 of Swords, is taking a risk. It was just 22, 44 to 45. So that was coming up again. 22 is the Fool, taking a leap of faith to have fun, be free. So someone may not be using their intuition, or just unaware of abandonment and heartbreak, or feeling left out in the cold, of separation and heartbreak of others that you may have not seen. And now there may be justice of truth and balance with the Empress of abundance coming in. Excalibur, blue eyes, winged with gold. The central sun coming up here again with the wavy lines. Because remember, energy is always in loops and circles. I was getting 12. So here, and then not just 2, 4, 6, yeah. So if you have 2 lines between each of those, that would become 12 lines. On the stairway to heaven I was getting. And then I was getting the upside down pyramid. That the bottom of the upside down pyramid is coming up as like the central sun, or can parallel to the third eye as well. It's like the mini central sun. And then I got this picture before, like an ice cream cone. So you have the upside down parallel and then the ice cream cone, which comes up in the Justice card in this deck. But there's something very important about it. There's 5 lines down the middle, like a harp stand. You know, the solid part of the harp has like 5 ridges in it. I was getting 5 lines here. And then the decoration and what goes across at the top where in an ice cream cone where the ice cream would be, was coming up as symbols of Taurus, the bull, going across. And also I was getting the feminine ring, because the symbol of the feminine was coming up here. And then the heart was coming up with sun in it as well. The heart with the 3 swords through it. The separation and heartbreak. is connecting the third eye to the central sun. So there's definitely a connection here. And also Stairway to Heaven was coming up as 3 floating steps. I was also getting the twins because the Gemini symbol was coming up with the feminine abundance. Okay? So lots of codes coming up here. So if you have anything to add to the codes, please comment below, and any other comments that you might have about what's coming up. And I was getting the surrender is basically a confessional. It's the same thing. It's not that you have to confess anything. It's the masculine confessing his love. So it's not about confessing what you've done wrong. It's about confess your love. Surrender. The Empress and the Emperor, strong and kind, ending pain with new love in a true love dance of patience. Recently, guidance comes up here, which is also the Hierophant, covered in muck, though, in the recent past. Synchronicities orchestrated to end the battle of your wounds at night. So there's a lot of this work being done at night while you're sleeping. Come to light for the feminine, so this information now comes to light for you. There may be Leo or ego energy grounding self-satisfaction with their work. The Lover's Justice, divine marriage and guidance. So as you're patient and you have to find something to do, you've been guided to do work that you love, to find what really floats your boat, so to speak. So when you come together, you always have your own thing that you can share with each other. Lover's Justice, divine marriage and guidance. Guide, dance. For the Empress, to end pain for others. The foundation here is the King of Swords, looking stern. It was just 26. I was seeing 11, but it was actually 41, and then 44. 26 is the Page of Wands, and 26 was coming up big time too. I remembered in my Divine Triangle book of numerology, 26 is karma. And I have to read to you what I wrote down, because I think I wrote it down yesterday. When I'm done, I'll read it to you. So the King of Swords is looking stern, and what's clarifying him is the King of Wands reversed, tired or anger, so there may be some anger coming up here today, looking back or going back to zero, to wisdom, hanging upside down, allowing new perspectives to come in, which was big time for yesterday and today. Allow the new perspective. It can change everything about the way you see things. To let go and let in, let live and let die. Triggered by anger, by letting go of your savings. So if you're starting to spend money or planning a trip or something like that, your masculine may get triggered because they've been taught to hold on to their savings and not spend. Centrally, the energy is the Chariot of the Divine Feminine. The lower back pain ending with your truth of your twins and purging it all out, like we've been getting the last squeeze of the lemon and the orange. The Divine Feminine coming together with others in August. And actually, lemon and orange is important because when I was seeing my green third eye, the pupil was now being filled with not only the gold light, but there was orange stripes in there as well. So it's important, the solar plexus and the creative energies from your sacral chakra. The Divine Feminine coming together with others over the next months. Bold move on the feminine's part, offering something healthy, friendship, an outpouring of love. The challenge is the Two of Pentacles. So in this deck, that's the surrender. I've got one crystal here and a crystal ball on the other. Like, which one do I pick? So it's surrendering the choice up to the universe, up to source. Satisfaction in getting your wish. The Angel King of Pentacles, leaving work, maybe have quit their job or not getting along, or happy about third party through work or church or creative place, any place of co-creation. Versus, these are his choices coming up. Happy about this, or being the prisoner, exposed, and or drained or sick or ill and not being in their truth, lacking faith as the King of Swords reversed, falling on their face, tripping up. Sounds like a clear choice to me. So now crowning is the Ace of Cups, the Emperor reversed, moving or unstable, insecure, and manipulative, unaware, didn't know about fighting, conflict, competition, expansion of offer of love that he ignored. Ending family cycle, falling short in their passions, feeling frazzled regarding the Empress, which can be anyone. Okay, it could be a mother, it could be the karmic, it could be the feminine. So however this applies to your situation. And if it doesn't, then it's not for you. Then I was getting 1138 at the time. The male was 7293, which is again that 4 of Pentacles coming up. And then 93 is the reflection of 39, which is the Knight of Cups, offering love. Imbalance here of give and take. The 6 of Pentacles reversed. The Knight of Pentacles offered fruit, maybe a pear, to the High Priestess, while he was all work in a relationship. Bull exits stage left with thorn in his side. When he was divided, went back to his karmic, expressing feelings of passions of the King of Pentacles being the superhero and wanting to save others. Might be having right arm and elbow pain, or that he hurt them in trying to rescue people, be his Superman person. And the Queen of Wands at a distance connected with obsession as the King of Swords has a third party looking in. So the Queen of Cups High Priestess is putting it out there about home and union and division of passions. Hung up on knees and toes, the King of Wands wants a hug, going crazy, not knowing what to say to the Empress with a snake at her side. So this doesn't have to be the feminine, but it could be. That could represent the Kundalini, or it could represent a karmic or a karmic mother who actually has a snake at their side. So he can't really tell them anything because they'll tell the snake at their side. Soon, new passion for standing up to others for the masculine, really feeling inspired in his Page of Wands, while the Queen of Pentacles is rushing in with the truth. Fantasy, destiny, divine marriage at a distance, offering new life to Angel, King of Pentacles. The union is the Queen of Pentacles. That's how it's being seen by both. Both in the feminine, making coin appear out of thin air. And I actually experienced this with someone before. A formal, I can't think of the word, of making something out of nothing. There was a gathering a long time ago when I was in my 20s, and my ex was invited because he had to drive this person he knew. He asked him to drive him to this event, so we got to be there, and this was by invitation only. It was very powerful leaders, religious leaders, political leaders. Were the only people at this event. There was like someone wired. They were all wired because they were proving that they could materialization, so they could actually materialize something out of nothing. And it was something wired where he was wired, and then all of a sudden light comes from his hand, and he opens his hand, and there's this rabbit head there. And it was the person who did the materialization said that this was a gift for my ex, and nobody knew he was going to be there. So, and there's a book about it, and I've seen the rabbit's head, so I mean it's real, but the book was written in Italian, so I've never actually read the book. But anyway, my point being is that same parallel was coming up about making coin appear out of thin air. The transformation in downturn, no matter what the downturn is, into a star and releasing emotions. So someone who maybe thought the Divine Feminine didn't have anything and was just sad, or last time they saw them maybe they were struggling because of whatever at work, or an injury that happened at work, which I definitely was experiencing. Now we're seeing there's been this total transformation, like where did this come from, right? So engagement comes up, as well as trust and flirt. Put your lighthearted energy out to those around you. Around the union, or how it is seen, is the Ace of Crystals, exposed as the diamond in the rough. The King of Pentacles is stable after the fighting is over. There's news or message of over-isolating from family in order to end a cycle. So this could be masculine or feminine. Clear blocks for both, the masculine and feminine, of the Hanging Man with the right knee pain or block. Just assuming anything, assuming that the masculine will make a bold move or travel as the King of Cups upright in lack of abundance, and maybe he won't have any abundance, or that he'll have an ill mother or a problematic karmic at hand, all right, when he does make a bold move. Implementing disconnect I'm not seeing eye to eye. So this is all coming up around the clear blocks of what you assume may happen. Synchronicities came up, as well as self-discipline and spiritual partnership, like I told you in the beginning. But even more so was coming up, karmic completion. And we had 4 10s at the first underlying energy. Death and grief in leaving the old behind right now. In sudden separation, there's a bolt of lightning, strikes times 2, creating fires and transmuting residue, like the last of the squeeze of the lemon. Opportunity for justice and or divorce. The Empress, Queen of Wands partner, cuts cords with King of Swords in third-party grieving process. Sudden event and or epiphany. The King of Wands may be offering love to end sovereignty of angel, to free from prison in sudden change of events or circumstance. So, okay, there's different kings coming up here, King of Swords and King of Cups. So they could be different divine masculines for different people depending on what's coming up, or you could have a karmic who comes forward to offer you something as well at the same time. Okay, or it could just be somebody else in your life that's coming in right now. Or healing and forgiving and juggling in the 5D. New passion for lover. There's a message of pure new love. So with the new love birthing and the end of pain, the Emperor, King of Swords, makes peace about the Queen of Pentacles, new life. So the Emperor and the King of Swords could be a father and son. Maybe the father didn't approve of the Divine Feminine, but there's been some kind of change of events, which now there's peace, and the King of Swords can be the Emperor, so it could just be one person, but him making peace about the Queen of Pentacles in a new life and divine marriage, in a bold move or travel, surrendering to new passion, hanging out with new love in sudden separation. After strike 3, you're out. There may be 1 strike that happened a long time ago and 2 right now. So this may have been the end of a karmic situation. Or just that 2 equals 3 if 2 are back to back, right? If you get 2 strikes right back to back, you obviously didn't listen the first time. Or it could be the Divine Feminine saying that to the Divine Masculine, says you've had 2 chances, 3 strikes, you're out. End of marriage, commitment, or contract with the Empress, King of Swords in a bold move or travel for new love, challenged by surrender. The Queen of Pentacles with new passion for new life, of seeing new perspectives with epiphanies and transmuting that, all of that which blocks love. Okay, so really nice reading today. All right, let's see what we have. I'll pull a few cards for you. I'm going to show you the read before I forget to show it to you. Okay, so that's the full read. Let's see if there's anything else that came up for you. I'm just going to show you this because this is like where my dad comes up as the Emperor, but also you'll see the 4 10s are all here in this corner. And this is the basic read, just so you can see all the cards. So take a deep breath. We have the Ascension deck here. Ascension deck. Take a deep breath. Alright, so for everybody watching, this February 28th, last day of February 2019, everyone watching, in the best and highest good of all is concerned, what is it we need to know? What is it we need to learn? What is our new perspective? And we're going to go with Jesus and Mary Magdalene today. What do we need to know? Alright. Okay, and then the bottom of the deck is Earth, which is number 14, which I kept bringing up today. Number 14 is the Temperance card. And all about the land and appreciating the land and the water and enjoying it. The affirmation is, I thank Lady Gaia for inviting me to be on Earth. And now every time I say Lady Gaia, I want to say Lady Gaga. Fire Dragons is underneath that, which is 7, half of 14, which is definitely coming up in my coding stuff that I kept going through today. I'm not going to read all of these. 5 cards came up, so that could be for the expansion energies. But I was definitely getting 2 and 2 for each Jesus and Mary Magdalene, but let's see how we go here. We have Buddha's number 33, which is definitely the Christ vibration. 33 is the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself without getting defensive. And here is Archangel Metatron's retreat, number 28. Perfect for the twins. 2 of Wands, which is today. That's a 6 and a 1. Then we have Thoth, number 31 comes up, which is that expansion energy, which also came up in the numbers. 31 came up today. And 39 for the Knight of Cups, which also came up. I told you the reflection of 93 is 39, the Knight of Cups, the offer of love. And then the 5th card that came out is the Sun, number 10. And we were just talking about the Sun, and the central Sun paralleling the 3rd eye. Because the Sun is the navel, it's saying the navel chakra of this universe. It radiates the divine masculine principles into us. Choosing this card suggests that the universe is calling on you to develop your qualities of decisive action, protecting the vulnerable, rational thinking, courage, and strength. Okay, so standing up for yourself. Invoke the Sun in order to light up your aura and fill you with renewed enthusiasm for life. This energy will enable you to help everyone feel welcome and empowered, which is an important ascension quality. Your guidance is to fill your aura with brilliant golden light, which is coming up in my eye that I see, and be true to yourself and act decisively today. The affirmation is, I radiate golden light and take decisive action today. So it's definitely coming out of the feminine, which was shown in the read this morning, into the masculine energy, which I was definitely feeling coming through last night. Alright, so Buddha says, when you draw this card, Lord Gautama, who became Buddha, is calling you to live in a state of peace, compassion, and enlightenment. You're ready to expand your consciousness to include all that is and to view the world from a higher perspective. You're asked to live in total harmlessness with all things. This creates safety for you, for all creatures will love you and feel safe with you. Your guidance is to remember we are all one and to treat each person, animal, and sentient being as if they are a beloved part of you. And the affirmation is, I am one with everyone and everything. So my answer back, so you might want to try that. As you see 2 ants come in, get a piece of paper or 2 and just get them to get on the paper and just walk them outside. It doesn't take as much time as you think. And there was more ants than I actually wanted in my house, because it was more than 2 or 3. I think it was like, there was like 5 or 6 ants there. So I took them all outside. And today there's just 2 guys in here. So they get the hint. And they may be persistent for a little bit, but if you just keep walking them outside, they'll stop. Or they'll just come in and there will just be this one little family who stays with you. It's so funny. Alright, Archangel Metatron's retreat, 28, says, Archangel Metatron's retreat is above the temple of Luxor, Egypt, where he holds the ascension energy for the world. He maintains this energy by bringing forward spiritual discipline. He suggests you commit to a spiritual practice if you don't already have one. Luxor is the spiritual throat chakra of the earth. Alright, so now we have the navel chakra of the sun and Luxor as the spiritual throat chakra of the earth. As it ascends, people will communicate higher wisdom and link telepathically with all life forms. You're being asked to send love and wisdom to all sentient beings. This card invites you to visit Metatron's retreat in your sleep to accelerate your spiritual growth. The affirmation is, I am visiting Metatron's retreat in my sleep tonight. Excuse me, I have to take a sip of water. Okay. Commander Ashtar says, number 39, that he's in charge of the intergalactic fleet, spaceships, and patrol, and protect this universe. His mothership enters Earth through Machu Picchu, the 2-way interdimensional portal he oversees. Commander Ashtar is connecting with you through this card and inviting you to view the planets, stars, and galaxies with cosmic eyes. Breathe in the subtle energy and wisdom of the stellar world and allow it to affect your chakra system and ignite your consciousness. You're blessed for this card of expanded enlightenment and a call to intergalactic service. The affirmation is, I connect with Commander Ashtar to serve the universe. And it was so funny because I've been looking at North Carolina, and of course Asheville comes up because it's a psychic town in North Carolina where the energy is very high there with the mountains. And I watched a movie last night where she is called Little Sister, where it's a young girl becoming a nun, and she drives home to see her family, and they're in where? But Asheville, North Carolina. So it was pretty funny. Thoth says, Thoth, the high priest in the golden era of Atlantis, led his tribe to South America to become the Inca civilization. He taught that when every single aspect is in tune, the whole is automatically in harmony. And this is so much the energy of my dad. Your guidance is to bring all parts of your life and your body into alignment so that you enjoy perfect health and happiness. Imagine that every cell of your body is a part of an orchestra. Let your thoughts conduct a magnificent concert for radiant well-being. Attune to each area of your life to a higher purpose so that your life is a celebration. The affirmation, my life and my health are in perfect harmony. All right, so you can't have one without the other. You have to keep up your health, okay? So take care of your body. All right. So I love how all the numbers always sync with all of the messages that are coming through in the read. Okay, now we have the past life deck. So take another deep breath. Okay, so this is for Jesus and Mary Magdalene. It's February 28, 2019, for everyone watching and the best and highest good of all those concerned. What is it we need to know? What is it we need to learn? Mary Magdalene and Jesus. What is our advice? Okay. Food and hunger comes up in the bottom of the deck, upside down. All right. So letting go of bread and dirty water is probably a good idea. See what came through. So I'd like 3 sets of 2s here. It's giving me a lot of messages. I'm getting baby is beneath food and hunger, also reversed. So somebody might have stopped. Someone might have had a miscarriage, or someone might have stopped breastfeeding, or someone might have stopped bottle feeding, and that they've gone to food. So it's like some kind of end of something regarding the end of a baby, whether a positive or negative energy. It could be either one. But I'm also just getting the message from Spirit, Spirit's connecting with me, that a baby, you know, just like a grown-up, cannot live on bread and water alone, okay? There must be something else to feed your spirit. That's the underlying energy. So I have like 4 piles of cards here. All right, so we have unrequited love and leaving or travel. So there's definitely some breakups going on here. Karmics are leaving. Okay, so anything's left over from here, from Egypt, and Luxor was coming up here. They're packing a bag and leaving. Leaving on a jet plane. Alright, so this is going along with karmic completion. I am not seeing this as a divine feminine because she's really pissed off. Unless that is your situation right now, depending on where you are. But if you're not being treated right as a divine feminine, yes. Pack your bag or tell them to pack a bag. Don't allow someone to treat you less than what you deserve. We all deserve to be treated with love. But also have compassion and forgiveness, you know. You can't make a big deal out of something unless it's, you know, blatant disrespect or abuse, you know. So also we have farm and Egypt. So farm's reversed. So it's saying like it's interesting here because Egypt is very much desert and pointy pyramids. And then here we have the farm of soft edges and green. Reversed. It's like the farm reversed. It's like the opposite of Egypt is what it's saying. But it's also paralleling like the big pyramid and the little pyramid, and the big horse and a littler horse, like the pairs. I'm just getting this. I got this yesterday. What's the commercial? This isn't your mother's But I'm paralleling it to the home that your masculine is going to have for you. Even if it's in the country, it's not going to be what your mother had. It's going to be like beautiful and modern and exactly what you want. So whether it's in the desert or the farm, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be perfect for you. Far away from his ex. That's what I'm getting. Flying far away with a kite. I'm getting like a blast off too. You know how like a kite, I'm seeing a kite like blast off on that angle, but with a wide span. It's like, and it reminds me of the dinosaur too. Very cool. Oh, it's also showing me the Taurus symbol that I was seeing in the card for the Justice. The Taurus symbol, the bull. The bull never gives up. Alright, so that's one of the sets of cards. We also have vows and wars and battles. And vows is reversed. Okay. And then we have the Confederate. I'm getting to get that all vows of revenge need to be let go, and vows of protection of your country. That vow should be to your that vow should only be to you and your connect with higher self. And for you twins, that is your vow to your twin, because you both share the same connection. So make sure you cut cords and make sure vows are ended, and let go of any wanting to get revenge or get justice, okay? And let go of any of those residual energies from past wars and past lives. And even vows that children had to you know, make good for their parents, or parents to make good for their children who were killed. Let go of all of those energies. And then we have galactic reversed. Oh, look, it looks like an arrow pointing downward. And it's the upside down pyramid. I'm getting to stay, it's more important that you stay grounded right now than astral travel. But I'm also getting to lay down outside, like how you see the sky upside down, to lie down and look at the stars, to see this bright, I don't know, I was listening to Leo King, and so I guess some of the planets, you were able to see them. I don't know if they're behind the moon now, but something like that. But there's a lot to see right now if you do have clear skies where you are. You might want to lie out at night to see the beautiful planets and stars in the sky. It's also showing me that triangle again. And I was also looking at the dippers, you know, because the little dipper is the North Star, the end of it. And I was getting the pattern of the little dipper and the big dipper, and how they are patterned against each other. And then I was getting the triangle headed northeast, the top of the triangle headed northeast. And it was interesting because at the picture I was looking at, the small dipper was northeast to the big dipper. There's something about that coming up here. So the North Star and Vega. And now we have Journey of Love. Okay, the Journey of Love. Take another deep breath. Yeah, it's whenever a lot of the energies start coming in, it's more important that we ground than astral travel. So. And I'm also like, I was guided to look at the galactic card again, and I'm getting a gala that someone may be going to. It could also be a message from my dad referencing the gala where he got his award after he passed, and I accepted the award for him. So I might be bringing up that, but also Allah is coming up, as well as tick and CT, so somebody might be getting a CAT scan. Or someone may consider someone a tease. That's coming up. Oh, that's funny, because Socrates was coming up that way. Socrates breaks up so cray tease. So I was getting the thorn, you know, the instigator, the irritant that causes the pearl to create, right? Socrates was coming up, so cray tease. It was so funny. And then reversed of SOC for Socrates, COS is cause, or cos was my dad's nickname, but also it's like cause and effect was coming up. All right, so for the journey of love, and lactic acid was coming up as well. Lactic acid is what cancer overproduces when you have cancer, why it's so hard to get under control, because your body becomes so acidic. You can't get the basic acidic balance again. So it's really important to eat basic foods, like things that are not acidic. And we were talking about this, I was talking to someone yesterday about this. Because of the vinegars, apple cider vinegar is the only one that's a basic vinegar as opposed to acidic. So if you really need to have vinegar, use apple cider vinegar. All right, so Mary Magdalene, Jesus, for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned for this February 28, 2019. What is it we need to know? What is it we need to learn? Okay, the bottom of the deck is the light field, and that's 63. 63 is the 9 of Swords, okay, which is the purging cycles, the light field. Okay, that's just the underlying energy. And then the cards that came out for you guys, 2 came out, Shifting Universes, and that's number 7. Which this always reminds me, this reminds me of a painting my parents had in their house, also of just music and G clef and all that kind of stuff. That comes up for me, and just instruments in the instrument room. And then Guardian of the Soul Family came up, number 26. Again, like I said, 26 is karma, and it's reminding me to read to you what I wrote down. 2 other cards wanted to be seen, but I'm not going to read them. So 5, Communal Dance came up. And 5 is the Hierophant. That's also expansion. And then 58, which is the 4 of Swords, which is beauty. Make sure you get your beauty rest. Okay, rest, and that's part of the grounding, getting enough rest. You know, and if you wake up, and if you only get a few hours of sleep, then take a nap during the day. Because you need to be ready for the communal dance. And there may be a gala coming up for someone. So you want to make sure you get your beauty rest. Okay, I got to read these 2 to you. Alright, 7 is Shifting Universes. You're blessed with an opportunity to change gears, to change your life. Again, this is the new perspective. To jump on the fast train. You're invited to fling yourself on the repetitive treadmill way of life and into a dance through nature. To be utterly confused and delighted, to accept the way of divine trust, even with its chaos, the instability that precedes all genuine creativity. So here it is, your get out of jail free card. Your opportunity to make a mess and find out what you didn't know you were looking for. You're being nudged, if you wish, Spirit's connecting. Let yourself go down that strange path, opening up before you without knowing what it is, even as you take your next step. Your universe is shifting, and stranger, more beautiful worlds beckon. Why not go where you haven't been before? You'll find yourself there and realize you're more than what you once thought you were. This oracle has a message for you. If you're thinking of changing location, jobs, houses, or attitudes, try something new, especially if it's unusual for you. Then the universe is supporting you. Now is the time to accept what you didn't expect. And the poem is The Dream. The taste and touch of you within. Thoughts linger on a sweet caress. You come to me, no sounds distract. The night's embrace of innocence. The artist's brush across my lips, the palette rich in colors deep, to flow with feelings now renewed and blend as one in breath and hue. Entwined, our bodies bathe in love, and weep with longing slow release. Emotion, song, and soft refrain, awaken dreams that never cease. Okay, that's the dream. then we have the Guardian of the Soul Family, 26. You're being drawn into two kindred spirits in this physical world by loving guardians in the spiritual world. If you feel you're leaving relationships behind, do not be afraid. The space that such courageous action creates is sometimes necessary in order to have room for the new to enter your sphere of consciousness. You may also feel that somehow a relationship that seemed to be held back from you is now becoming available to you. There is a great soul love calling you into more intimate connection now. It is sanctioned by the divine. It is a karmic destiny to fulfill. There is a love that you are to experience in connection with particular souls, predetermined by the divine plan. If you're struggling to feel the soul purpose in your current relationships, take heart, for you're being helped by divine guardians who understand and support the sacred purpose of your relationships. Be open to current relationships healing, whether that means improved communication and enriched experience, or the realization that you have traveled as far as you can together, and know that new relationships are going to be an important aspect of your spiritual destiny being fulfilled. Trust in the divine timing of your life and open your heart to the guardians who help you with unconditional love now. The guidance of this oracle for you is that relationship healing is taking place, in present relationships unfolding, in attracting the right relationships for your future growth, and in leaving behind relationships of the past with a peaceful heart. Be gentle with your heart, beloved, all is well. And it reads, when I open my heart, you cover me with a blanket of love and warm the silence with your caress. Words unspoken say it all, as we become more than we are alone. Okay, so before I forget, I have to read you what that said in this book. All right, so number 26, okay, and this is the numerology book, Divine Triangle. And I remembered that 26 was karma, but I wanted to look that back up because the other day when it was the 26 was coming up as really important. Okay. So 26 is a karmic number. It designates a life in which you learn about the world around you through experience. Stressful situations eventually develop your self-confidence, at which time positive action brings prosperity and fulfillment. You have enthusiasm, courage, and a desire for power. The power will come when you have learned wisdom and developed strength through self-control. Okay. That's I don't know if I said that. This is a karmic number. Okay. Your impulsiveness involves you in sudden love relationships. That same impulsiveness causes irritation in others, creating tense situations. You must learn self-control, patience, and endurance. You must be subservient to the laws of nature before you can master them. Okay, and just for this particular number, it was coming up that you are a gifted speaker who could become a lecturer, debater, or diplomat. That communication is vital because your wide-angle vision allows a view of the whole, while others are mirrored in the parts. Your ideas are looking for assimilation. Only through communication will your concepts find realization, which is kind of like what I have to do, right? So through interactions with others, you will learn to form enduring relationships which will fortify your position in life. Your relationships are decidedly karmic and will be either destructive or supportive depending on your past actions. So obviously this doesn't always apply to us because we're no longer in that karma. We don't get karma anymore because it comes right back at us. It doesn't stay. But it was funny this because it was saying you could expel in sports, especially running and gymnastics stuff was coming up, and I was a runner in elementary school and I was a gymnast, so it was kind of funny that it came up. But things that involve the legs, coordination, and a sense of balance. And that's the Page of Wands. All right, so I think that's enough stuff for today since we're already over an hour. And rise and be loved. Bye.